everyone. Rev Deanna Cox here. I am a United Church minister serving the physical communities of Daysland, Killam, and Roseland, as well as this online community of DKR United. A reminder that Easter is more than a day, it is an entire season, and this is the third Sunday of Easter season. We will be coming to the third Sunday of the Easter season, and this is my midweek reflection on that. A couple things that came to my mind. A lot of things. And actually, this is the point of the midweek reflection, is to take all those ideas that are buzzing around in my brain and to try and get them lined up so that we're ready for Sunday. And so this is some of the ideas that are buzzing in my brain this week. Last night was our first Bible study in the series Christian Perspectives on War, and we were looking at holy war. Reverend Scott Reynolds from Viking and Irma led that discussion, and he walked us through the 6 kind of principles of holy war, and I won't reiterate them now. If you're interested in the Bible study, there's still 5 more weeks. You can contact the office for the Zoom link and participate either through Zoom or by phone, whichever works best for you. One of the things in the principles of holy war was the call to be in tune with God's presence in our lives. One of the questions that came up was, as we were discussing holy wars throughout history, was, does God just become an excuse for acting how we want to act? And the answer, it's not really an answer, but one of the answers is yes. God can become an excuse if we are not in tune to how we are called to behave as people of God. And one of the things that struck me as Scott was leading us through these 6 principles that were required for it to be a holy war. The group was generally appalled by how we could consider something like this holy. And what struck me, though, was how so very, very often we do. And we don't even realize that we are doing it. Which leads me to the scripture for this coming Sunday. Is one of the stories of Jesus' appearance to the disciples. Jesus is appearing to 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus as they are journeying there. And the big kind of crux of the story is that this stranger joins them as they're walking, and these 2 disciples, these are disciples that would have been in Jesus' closest circle and would have spent a lot of time with him. They do not recognize Jesus as he approaches and walks with them. And so that makes me think about our Bible study and about how even though we look at this list of these 6 principles and we look at this holy war and we think it's atrocious, and how could anything like that be considered holy? But we are not able to recognize it when it happens. And so one of the things that Reverend Scott did in the Bible study was we worked through paraphrasing of Joshua 6, and then we discussed it and how the 6 principles were reflected in that. And then we walked through Joshua 7, which essentially turns the principles of holy war back on us, on the people of God. And at the end of that, like Scott said, like it's a reminder that we need to always be, now I may not be getting this 100% accurate, I don't have my notes in front of me, but a reminder that we always need to be mindful of who we are called to be as the people of God, how we are called to act as the people of God. What if we're faced with somebody who is different than us, or if we are faced with a conflict or an unfamiliar situation, how we respond can very easily start to reflect some of those principles of holy war, as we other and distance ourselves from the people, from the situation or the people that we are encountering. But what we need to ask is, what godlike behavior am I called to reflect in this situation? And it's something that I continually struggle with, and there are moments where I don't get it. And then there are these moments where I'm struggling with something, and my words and my actions are not reflecting God's behavior, and then something happens and boom, I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I'm supposed to be. And I just take a moment and just and reorientate my heart and my thoughts. And it's still hard, don't get me wrong, it's still hard to approach those situations from our most godlike place, with our most godlike behavior. But it really shifts my heart. If I'm feeling angry or frustrated or very hurt, and then something calls me back into this way, I'm still angry and hurt, but I'm not operating from that place. I can set them aside for a minute and say, okay, you are a child of God, and I need to approach this from that place. And it's not forgetting that the hurt and the feelings, it's sharing and discussing and entering into a dialogue of the situation that created those hurts from a place of love. And that's what I mean about recognizing God in our midst. The disciples were so caught up in their hurt, their trauma of losing Jesus, they couldn't even recognize their leader, their friend, when he was standing right there beside him. And we do get like that. We get so bound up in the moment of whatever it is that we can't function from this godlike place that we are asked to as an Easter people and as people of God. So this Sunday, that's what we're going to be talking about, is being able to recognize the holy in our midst. And we are also celebrating a ministry, 5 years of ministry as an office administrator for our communities. So recognizing the gifts that we have in our community is going to be a part of our Sunday reflection. So I guess this, for your midweek challenge, if you will, I encourage you to try and tune in and to notice the holy, or to pay attention to those moments where you are held accountable, and I'm not meaning in a necessarily a negative way, but when like God is calling your attention, saying, you can be better here, and just to pay attention to those moments and try and invite that into your heart and to approach them from a different place. So yeah, I think that's my midweek reflection for this week. I hope you are all enjoying the rain and not snow, and that you take care, and may God bless you as you journey through the rest of the week. Bye for now.